We're always told that more data, more information means more transparency. But what if that's just wrong? Today, we're going to dig into a concept called Codatta that completely flips that idea on its head. It's all about rebuilding trust in a world that is just overflowing with information, and it tackles this huge paradox right at the heart of our digital lives. And this is the central question, isn't it? I mean, think about it. We have more access to information than any other time in human history. The internet, and now AI, gives us this window into pretty much anything we want. So why is it that the more we see, the less we actually seem to trust what's right in front of our eyes? This quote just nails it. We see more, yet trust less. The crazy amount of information has just become noise. You've got AI that can create incredible things, but it can also just make stuff up. Anybody can post a claim online, but trying to figure out where it came from or if it's real, almost impossible. It just leaves us in this constant state of, well, uncertainty. And that leads us to something we can call the visibility paradox. It's this idea that just because you can see something online doesn't mean you can believe it. In fact, sometimes seeing more just makes us even more suspicious. So the real problem here isn't a lack of information, it's a lack of verification. We have all the visibility in the world, but we don't have a reliable way to confirm where something came from, who might have changed it along the way, or if it's even authentic. And without that solid chain of proof, just seeing more and more stuff only makes things riskier and way more confusing. So how do we fix this? Well, it's gonna take a completely new kind of transparency, one that somehow manages to balance two goals that honestly seem like they're complete opposites. And that solution is a model called privacy-preserving transparency. The core idea is kind of brilliant in how simple it is. You keep the actual content of the data totally private and locked up with encryption. But, and this is the key part, you make the history of that data, its origin story, its journey, any changes made to it, you make all of that public and impossible to fake. And this is how you strike that balance. On one side, you get total accountability by making the provenance public. That's just a fancy word for the who, what, and when of every single change. You create this permanent record that anyone can check out and audit. But on the other side, you still have discretion. The sensitive stuff, the actual content, stays encrypted and protected. It's kind of like being able to inspect a sealed, transparent envelope. You can see exactly who sent it and all the postmarks from its journey, but you never have to actually open it and read the private letter inside. Okay, so that's the big idea, but how does this actually work in the real world? Well, it boils down to a four-step process that builds this unbreakable chain of verifiable proof. Let's walk through it. First up, encrypted storage. All the sensitive data gets locked down on the user side before it ever even hits a server. Next, on-chain logging. This is where the metadata, that who, what, and when, gets recorded on a blockchain. Think of that as a permanent public diary for the data that can't be erased or changed. Then you've got hybrid verification. This part is really smart. A mix of AI and human checkers review the proofs of the data's history to make sure it's all legit. But they do all this without ever seeing the private data itself. And finally, step 4 is selective disclosure. If an auditor, say, absolutely has to see the content, the owner can give them a temporary key with super specific access. The second that job is done, that window closes. Now, this isn't just some abstract theory. It has huge, real-world applications. Let's take a look at a few areas where this kind of trust technology could be an absolute game changer. For starters, just think about regulatory compliance. In industries like healthcare or finance, companies have to protect customer data under strict laws like GDPR and HIPAA. This system lets them prove they're following the rules by giving regulators a perfect, unchangeable audit trail, all while the actual sensitive patient or client data stays completely locked down and private. Or how about collaborative science? Imagine researchers all over the world being able to combine sensitive patient data to find cures for diseases. With a model like this, they can run their analysis and let other scientists verify their methods using the public proofs, all without a single private medical record ever being exposed. This could seriously speed up scientific discovery. Then there's the supply chain. A luxury brand could prove every single part of their product is authentic, or a food company could prove that an item is 100% organic. Every step in the journey gets logged and verified, so an auditor can confirm the product's entire history without the company ever having to reveal its secret suppliers or business practices.
And this isn't just for traditional businesses. It works for modern organizations like DAOs, too. Those are decentralized, autonomous organizations. Members can submit sensitive proposals in an encrypted format. So the whole validation and voting process is completely traceable on-chain for accountability. But the strategic details of the plan don't get leaked to competitors before the time is right.
So when you put all of this together, what we're really looking at is a brand new definition of trust. It's a future that moves way beyond just making everything visible and then, hoping for the best.
This right here gets to the absolute heart of the entire philosophy. The goal isn't to show everything, but to hide nothing that matters. It's not about this radical show-it-all transparency, because that would just destroy privacy. No, the goal is to make sure the things that are absolutely essential for trust, the origin, the history, the proof, are undeniable while protecting everything else. Ultimately, this whole thing paints a picture of a very different kind of digital world. It's a future where we don't have to constantly surveil each other just to build a little bit of confidence. Instead, we can rely on verifiable proof. And in that kind of environment, real trust can actually start to grow again. So I'll just leave you with this question to think about. What new kinds of collaboration or science or business become possible when we can actually prove what's true without having to watch everyone all the time? That sounds like a future worth building.